You know, you think of a second home as being your lake home or your condo or whatever, but for the transplant patients, this is their second home.
Rochester, Minnesota Realtor Ed Pompeian has twice been saved by kidney transplants at the Mayo Clinic. Now he's dedicated his life to making sure others who need transplants have an affordable place to live during what can be months of transplant-related care.
The Gift of Life Transplant House is a home for transplant patients and their caregivers who are going through transplant at Mayo Clinic. Safe, clean, and affordable accommodations for them.
It's a need Ed recognized after traveling from Michigan for his first transplant. His living options then were expensive, cramped, and lonely hotel rooms.
So I kept thinking, boy, I need to do something. What I did was I went around town and I basically begged for money for people for this dream that I had of starting a transplant house. I had no idea what a transplant house should look like. I just felt that there needed to be something.
Today, after 30 years of growth aimed at helping more families, Ed's Transplant House looks like this. 2 large buildings with 87 guest rooms and moral support beyond measure.
Gift of Life is an incredibly important resource and option for our transplant patients. At a time of very critical need, both emotionally and medically, they have a place to call home. It helps them have the absolute best outcome they can.
About 5 weeks ago, I got the call and they had a match on a pair of lungs. So I got my brand new lungs. I was able to come over to the transplant house, and we've been making friends here since.
You can walk into a room and, you say, well, what are you here for? It's sort of like jail, what's your crime? It's kind of like, what's your diagnosis? And so when you can come here and actually share what's going on with you and how hard it's been, it really makes a huge difference in terms of going through the whole process. It builds your confidence that you can actually get through some of the things you have to go through.
We were all in it together. We became somewhat closer than even some of our family. Because sometimes your family members didn't even really understand what you were going through, but the people here really did.
You don't get that in a hotel. I'm a hotel guy too, I own some hotels, but the patients belong here.
And it started with a very small house, and now it's grown to be the largest facility of its kind in the world. And that's thanks to Ed and his vision and his leadership and his friendship.
He helped us so much through this journey because he'd been through it himself.
Whenever there's a need for the transplant house, I'll be here.